What's up, Multiverse Boom? Today, it's a new year. Happy New Year. I was supposed to do this video two days ago and yesterday, but really, I was up on that on New Year's Eve, and I slept in on January 1st. Well, yesterday, and I was watching Raw because I also want to do a Reddit video you know, um, before Royal Rumble comes up, and like around the middle of January, before Royal Rumble and all that. So here's some stuff I gotta tell y'all. So this year was like a year for me. I just went from 100 subscribers to 1,000, well then 1,000 to 2,000, and now we're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. So I want to say thank you guys for an incredible year, and you know, um, also wanted to start doing more stuff with my family, and well, this year I want to start doing more stuff with my family. I might want to try to go live more often. I don't know like how often, but like one day in the future I actually want to go live and start streaming more. And yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say. Thank you guys for a good 2023 for Multiverse Boom. And yeah. So this year, well, this today, we're gonna talk about my favorite, my top 10 favorite rivalries of 2023. Cause these rivalries are like, um, good. They were entertaining. Some I actually got hot takes on. Some rivalries are not gonna be in there, and you know it's because some rivalries are like are kind of underrated, but some rivalries are like there for me. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. My top 10 favorite rivalries of 2023. So let's go on with the video, and here is number 10. All right, number 10 is a faction rivalry, and really it was in Santi Zap's video. It was just a singles rivalry, but I had to put it in a faction um, because every person in those two factions did something big in this storyline. One of them wanted the Intercontinental title. Um, Someone kept flirting with the other faction. Well, it was a girl and all that. So I had to put Alpha Academy and Imperium at number 10. They had they had good matches, and that 5-star match with Gunther and Chad Gable was so good. And what else was it? Oh yeah, the wasn't like this. I think there was like this 5 second, not 5 second, 5 minute match, at Raw, and then they had another one for the Intercontinental title. But really, Chad Gable didn't really beat him. He won, but he never got the title. But the third time they fought, uh, Chad Gable showed out because he's incredibly underrated, and but Chad Gable still show out. He was showing a lot of strength, a lot of heart in that title, and still it was a 5-star match. And the reason why I put them as a faction, because once again they did so much together, and you know oh, I think Otis was getting jealous of Imperium and getting annoyed, and Maxine what didn't like Ludwig, and I think that's like when we saw like more of the cracks of Imperium, and Chad Gable wanted the Intercontinental title. That's why they But that's why all factions did their part in that rivalry. So at number 9, this is another underrated rivalry. So what happened was the the first time that they actually fought together was in the Royal Rumble. They come away from all the way from Money in the Bank. They had another highlight reel, and then that's when the match happened at SummerSlam. And it was Ricochet versus Logan Paul. I feel like that rivalry was like more of a just just to see who's the best, and because I feel like Logan Paul showed out, after having a losing streak against, after Roman Reigns beat him, and then coming back, started losing more. He lost the World Rumble. He lost to Seth Rollins, and he also lost to, oh yeah, they he lost against like six other people in the Money in the Bank match, and then that's when um, they started having that backstage brawl, and then all the way from Raw, that's where it all happened. And I knew this match was going to happen at SummerSlam because really they don't like each other, and they're just trying to see who's the best and who's the best high flyer or just the best showstopper. So that's why I put that at number 9. Okay, so at number 8, and this is a women's rivalry. Um, this one should have got more attention at the pay-per-views, but it really didn't. But it really didn't. But it was still a good match. But they still had good matches. And this one was Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch. So that rivalry started when Lita was injured. She couldn't defend the tag titles with Becky, and then comes the Thank You Trish, or the heel turn of Trish Stratus, and then that's when the whole magic happened at Night of Champions when Zoe Stark came in and interfered, and Trish Stratus won. And then they were supposed to have more matches at Raw, but there was just more disqualifications, countouts, and interferences. And then they also had Money in the Bank, obviously. They both qualified for the Money in the Bank match, but EO won, and no one won that one. And then that's when September came, and they had this steel cage match at Payback, and then that's when Trish Stratus turned face, and then Trish Stratus left WWE, and that was it. And I think the reason why this should have got more love for the pay-per-views and the WWE universe was only because they kept booking the women's division wrong in the pay-per-views. There should be more women's matches. Like at Payback, there was like only two women's matches, and I feel like there should have been more. Like at least three or four. Like they show respect to the men's roster, but what about the women's roster? So that's why I put that at number 8. So at number 7, this rivalry is not done. It's still recent, but this person is not done with Damage Control, and I think this person is done with Damage Control for now. And this one is Becky and Bianca versus Damage Control, because Bianca has been feuding with Bayley since 2021, which is like, yeah, this is like 3 years, 3 years ago, and I think Becky has been feuding with Bayley for about, I guess, 4 or 5 years. But this rivalry is still good, And I think Bianca's gonna dethrone Io Sky because that's what damage control is for. It's like really Bianca has beef with everybody. She has beef with Bailey. She has beef with Dakota, Kyrie Sane, Oscar, and just a lot of just everybody. And Becky has just only been just just was only focusing on Bailey most of the time because they had matches here and there. They had one at Hell in a Cell. They had some at let's see. Oh, they returned at SummerSlam, Damage Control, and they had one at the first women's TLC match with Bianca and Bailey, and then they had the last women's standing match at Crown Jewel last year. Well, not last year, 2 years ago, and then they also had the War Games match. Then we had Crown Jewel at Bianca versus Io Sky, and Io Sky retained. And that has to be number 7. It's still good. It's still recent, but this shows a lot more of the women's roster, and it's really because of Bianca. Bianca is trying to form a faction just to get at at Damage Control. So at number 6, and this rivalry is definitely not done. So if you go back from 2002, like when the time John Cena was here, he just been feuding with the Bloodline. So the that's why I put John Cena and LA Knight at number 6 versus the Bloodline. So back in 2002, he has been feuding with Rikishi, The Rock. Come through the years, it's been Rikishi, The Rock, Roman Reigns, the Usos getting roasted, and Solo Sikoa, Umaga, and really just a lot of the Samoan dynasty, I should say. And the reason why I say it's not done because wait till this year he's gonna start feuding with another family member. Or matter of fact, we could just see like Jay Uso team up with John Cena one day. Cause John Cena has been going against the Samoan dynasty since 2002. Then they had matches all the way coming from 2023. Then that's when LA Knight came in and helped John Cena with the Fastlane match with the tag team with against who was it? Jimmy and Solo. And Jimmy lost. Well, yeah, Jimmy lost, or the Bloodline lost, however you want to put it. And then Crown Jewel came up. LA Knight took on Roman Reigns, and John Cena took on Solo Sikoa. And I'm still a little bit mad at Solo Sikoa that he beat up John Cena because he's my favorite. But I'm also happy for Solo because that's like the biggest win of his career. So that's why I put that at number 6 because it's still gonna keep going, but for now it's done. So at number 6, this faction just got beef with everybody. It's just Judgment Day versus everybody, because you know back back like the first Raw, or I just not the first Raw, but the first weeks of Raw. They've just been feuding with everybody. They feuded with the Usos, and they had matches. Finn Balor had matches with Cody Rhodes. Then we also had Sammy versus KO versus the Judgment Day, and Jey Uso came along solo, and he started feuding with the Judgment Day. And it's because this is not gonna get old. Rhea Ripley has been feuded with Charlotte, and she feuded with Raquel. I think she's gonna start feuding with Nia Jax, then Zoe Stark, and then Liv Morgan's gonna come up later. I think 2024. She's gonna win the Royal Rumble. I'm not lying. Well, you know what? Actually, she is gonna. Yeah, she's gonna win the Royal Rumble. The 2024 Royal Rumble. She's gonna come back, gonna face Rhea Ripley, and I think she's gonna win. Yeah, I'm calling it right now. She's gonna win the Royal Rumble. But anyway, Rhea Ripley been feuding with who else was it? Oh yeah, Shayna Baszler, and then also Finn Balor feuded with Seth Rollins during the summer. Um, Damian Priest has been feuding with JD McDonough. Dominic has been feuding with his father. Just with everybody. And Dragon Lee, just with everybody. That's what makes this at number 5. It's still good, but it just now it's starting getting repetitive. During 2022, I was like, man, I don't want to see this no more. Just get it over with. But now it's done. JD's in the Judgment Day. R-Truth is in the Judgment Day, and and this faction has been the most Dominic faction. I'm not gonna lie. I know I don't like Dominic. I do not like the Judgment Day, but I gotta admit they have improved so much since Edge went away, and they won championships. They're kind of getting pushed like the bloodline a little bit. So that's why I put that at number 5. Okay, at number 4, this rivalry is gotta be entertaining, but yet confusing of the matches. And this is like my dad's favorite rivalry of 2023. And it was Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. This is, I actually gotta admit, I think this is like one of the best rivalries that Cody Rhodes has ever had. Number 1 is still gonna be Seth versus Cody, but I think at number 2, it's gotta be that one, Brock versus Cody. Good, because like this match had like a storyline to like the video package was like chapter 1 Backlash or WrestleMania, and then all the way from then coming Backlash chapter 2 Night of Champions. He couldn't make me tap out. He's not man enough for me to tap out. Then chapter 3 SummerSlam, which is actually a good match, but yet confusing because I feel like Brock should have won that match because he hit him with the steel steps. But I don't even know why they didn't count it as a disqualification. Chapter 3 SummerSlam, they finished the story together because I feel like that was a test to what's his name, to Cody, because if you really think about it, after Cody Rhodes lost to Roman Reigns, to a champion, he F5'd him just to see if he's championship material. Because I feel like it was a test just to see if Cody is worthy enough to hold the Undisputed Championship or just any championship. So really, that's why I put that at number 8. This rivalry was like, just like a rivalry after WrestleMania, and this is like he's on the same path as John Cena, because if you lost to a Samoan, you get F5 by Brock Lesnar. Okay, so at number 3 is the same rivalry as number 5, just feuding with everybody. But if we're talking about specifically with the Judgment Day, we gotta put the LWO versus Judgment Day at number 3. Now, if we're talking about just like a singles rivalry, uh, it's gonna be Dom and Ray, where like the main attractions of that storyline, because it's talking about family business. Like Eddie Guerrero is Dominic's son. Um, Rey Mysterio is biologically my son. And then we had that heel turn at Clash of the Castle. Dominic moved away from Rey and then moved in with the Judgment Day. And then we saw the revamp of the LWO. And I actually learned more about this faction. A group of Latinos, you know, just forming a group together. And this was also, it gets, these guys played a big part in this storyline as well. Because if it wasn't for Santos Escobar, we wouldn't have the LWO. If it wasn't for Santos Escobar, I feel like Ray would have lost without without the LWO by his side. Then they had Bad Bunny. Then we had Bad Bunny, and then he started feuding with Damian Priest. He's now in the LWO, and Rey Mysterio started giving him help. Then Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wild, then Santos Escobar, Zelina Vega was started feuding with Rhea Ripley. That's why I had to put that on number 3. This rivalry was like a good rivalry to me. So, excuse me. So this rivalry was like more of a family, just more of a faction, like a big faction and a big family, like a big family rivalry, I should say. Okay, this rivalry won rivalry of the year, and I fully agree because I feel like the first one I'm about to say later, like the number 1 rivalry I'm about to say later, should have won rivalry of the year. So we're gonna talk about the rivalry of the year, and it's the Bloodline Civil War, Roman and Solo versus the Usos. So let's take it back to the Shield days, and when the Usos were still together. We had the tag titles match. We had the Usos versus Roman and Seth Rollins, the Shield. And then that was like I should say that's like when the rivalry kind of started a little bit. And then we had the heel turn of Seth Rollins. So the heel turn of Seth Rollins was like, made Seth Rollins a bigger star, bigger star, and Roman Reigns another big star. And he won the WWE Championship, and then that's when the Usos held him up and congratulated him. And then the pandemic era hit, and that's when the Jey Uso storylines kind of started, mainly, and because that was like probably like the best storyline of wrestling. And I mean wrestling, not WWE, but wrestling. But let's talk about the rivalry more. So this rivalry was like more of another family one, because usually Roman Reigns is always head and shoulders above everybody, and I feel like that's the tribal chief gimmick. That's when the Hell in a Cell I Quit match happened, and then we had the Night of Champions thing happen, and that was it for the pandemic era. And then that's when the Bloodline formed. Well, actually formed. The Usos won the tag titles, and what else happened? Oh yeah, they won another tag title. They won more tag titles with against RK Bro. And then that's when a few months later, Sammy went around, and then Solo came along, and then that's when they formed like the most dominant faction of all time, the Bloodline. So that's when we get to number one. Um, so KO and Sammy lost the title. I mean, won the titles against the Usos, and then they had rematches, but it didn't work. Then we had Riddle returning, and then they came along with KO and Sammy versus the Bloodline with Solo and the Usos, and then the Usos, well, the Bloodline won their match. And then that's when and Roman Reigns and Solo took on KO and Sammy, and then that's when Jimmy super kicked him, and then that's when Jay said, "You out," and I'm out too. Bang, super kick. Then we had the Bloodline Civil War, and then that's when the third battle of Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns happened in a tribal combat. And I have to say that's like the best Jey Uso match of all time, because that's when he brought up the character of main event Jay, because down since day one, it's women down since. That's what I'm talking about. So that yeah, and then that was the end of that rivalry, but it's still gonna come more this year, because we're gonna have more Jay versus Jimmy, and more Solo versus Jay, and then Roman versus Solo, however you want to put the matches together. Because there's still gonna be more of the Bloodline storyline, but they're gonna take a break for now. So let's talk about number one. Okay, so number one, we kind of talked about it a little bit more, a little bit on Rivalry 2. So Rivalry 1 is not just Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. It's not just Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline. It's not just Sami Zayn versus the Usos. It's really another person that has been involved with the Bloodline. It's KO and Sami versus the Bloodline. And this match has brought these matches has brought so much into this storyline since the pandemic era. So KO had his match against Roman Reigns so many times, like this year. We had the War Games. We had the other 5 matches against Roman Reigns with Kevin Owens. Then we had Sami Zayn going against Roman Reigns. You know, back in 2016 or something, or 17, or whenever the first time they fought, because that brought so much into this storyline, what we have right now, into the Royal Rumble, the last time that KO and Roman Reigns fought, and the same chair shot that Seth Rollins did to Roman. Sammy did the same thing to Roman Reigns. And then we had Elimination Chamber. I think that was like the second time that they faced, or the third time. I don't know. Comment down below and tell me how many times that Roman and Sammy faced, because I don't really know. They faced each other at Elimination Chamber. I knew Roman was gonna win. And then coming into the WrestleMania match, which is also one of my favorite matches of WrestleMania, has to be like one of the best one of the best tag team matches of WrestleMania. And we also had once again the rematch of the Usos versus KO and Sammy. Then we also had Riddle coming in with Sammy and KO. And what else? Oh, make it more even with Solo. And then that's when Crown Jewel came up, and what else happened? Not Crown Jewel. Night of Champions. They had that match. Roman and Solo had that match, and really that was like the storyline of the bloodline coming in, well, just imploding. So really, if it wasn't for Sammy, we wouldn't have that storyline. And if it wasn't for KO, we wouldn't have the Sami Zayn storyline. So yeah, that's number one. All right, guys, that is the end of the video. Make sure you leave a comment down below and tell me Happy New Year, or how many times Roman Reigns and Sammy faced against each other. Whatever you want, we'll put it in the comments. We're gonna have more gaming, more of my family, um, more. We're gonna have more basketball, uh, obviously more wrestling, um, more shorts, more superheroes, um, Marvel, DC, however. Make sure you leave a. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications. We're gonna have all that stuff that I just said, and also subscribe to Multiverse Boom. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. I'm kind of close, but right now I'm stuck, and we're trying to we're all in this together. And make sure y'all have an awesome day.